Hey everyone, welcome to the Game Week 32 preview video. Here we're going to see what the team looks like the final game week before the double game weeks begin. I've already made my transfers, so we're going to see where that is and how the team looks like we're lining up. So if you've been liking these videos, I know the preview ones tend to be a little more popular than the review ones just because there's a little more strategy talked about. But please hit that like and subscribe button. And if for no other reason, it is my birthday today. So please do that as a birthday present to me. I'd appreciate it. Okay, there we go. Enough self-advertising. We're going to get into what the team looks like. And we have Silvestri in net, obviously. He's my starter goalkeeper right now, brought in due to the upcoming 2 double game weeks Udinese has coming up. And then the defense is hard, and this is where I kind of go to my transfer. I brought in Molina this week. I did want to bring in at least one more Udinese player after 32. 33 and 34, they double game week both weeks. So you could be potentially bringing in 4 fixtures instead of 1 generally that you'd be bringing in. So I did want to do that. Molina had an amazing week. I hope I didn't miss out on all the points that he's going to be getting. But I don't know if he is worth starting. Again, Udinese kind of isn't generally your high caliber defensive team. They didn't even get the clean sheet last week against Venezia, but he has had a lot of attacking promise, and they do have a good fixture against Venezia. It's just the rest of my defense, and I think I'm only going to be playing 4 defense. And I think they're higher, better known teams that I think have a better chance of keeping that clean sheet. So my defense right now is Theo Hernandez, Bastoni, Calabria, and Patrick. One thing I could do is if I don't have full, or if I'm a little wishy-washy on that Milan keeping the clean sheet against Torino, maybe I'll just take one of them out, and then at least I have a little bit of a buffer there in case they do give up the goal. I'm not losing 2 clean sheets in 1. So potential play there. But as of right now, this is how the defense is going to look. Next, we have our midfield. Another thing I'm struggling with here is, do I play Çalhanoğlu against Verona or Oliveira versus Salernitana? Oliveira hasn't been that great since the first couple games that he's come back, at least fantasy-wise. And Çalhanoğlu has got a couple attacking returns. So I am very tempted right now to switch out Oliveira for Çalhanoğlu, but it's really hard to turn down a fixture against Salernitana the way that the season has gone, which is why Oliveira is in there right now. I also have Milinkovic, Savic, and Cuadrado. Maybe Cuadrado, who does generally play more of a defensive role, I should start Çalhanoğlu over him. So this midfield definitely isn't for sure, so but that's just kind of how I have it lined up right now. And then the forwards all have good fixtures. I'm going to be starting all of them. I think that's pretty locked in. Vlahovic, Leao, and Dzeko. As far as my captaincy, that is actually I have not updated the captaincy. I think I'm going to go Vlahovic here. The guy has to be due for goals. I promise it's not just bias. But yeah, I think that's the way we got to go here. So I'm going to switch captaincy to Vlahovic. I'll go vice captaincy. I'm even tempted to pick Oliveira right now. I'll go vice captaincy to Theo Hernandez. All right. And yeah, that's kind of how the team's looking right now, with Çalhanoğlu in first bench position. Candreva against Bologna, again, another good matchup. If I had people with worse matchups or injuries, Candreva definitely could be starting this week. It's just I'm using the more common known names. Again, maybe a Candreva for Cuadrado might be helpful. But yeah, I'm starting to think that Cuadrado might not see the field this week, the more and more I look at this. As for top 5, I kind of forgot to think of one so I'm just going to go off the top of my head this time. I think just with the fixtures, the top 3 here have to be an Udinese player. And I would say for this week, it's going to be, and I think I'm just going to sub out one from what I had last time. Silvestri and Molina, I think, are 2 players that you could be looking at for defensive options. Remember, Udinese is going to have 4 games coming up, and Silvestri has started every game for them so far. So maybe he might drop one of those games. But even though Uneza hasn't been the best defense in keeping a lot of clean sheets, you have 4 shots at it. So I'd like to think having him in net is better than having most people in net in the next 2 weeks. Molina has been getting attacking returns for sure. And again, you have those 4 chances at clean sheets maybe. So I'm sure he won't play all 4 games, but there's potential for clean sheets coming there and attacking returns. Beto is the one before. I said Delafeu, he's been injured. I'm going to go with Beto, who is in form right now, made the last team of the week. And I think he could be a good striker to bring in. I am even thinking of bringing him in maybe on take a hit next week to bring him in as well, especially if my strikers keep performing in a lackluster way like they have. And then as well, and I'm just going to kind of try to show the thinking here. If I go to the calendar, we have our, oops, wrong way. We have our big double game week coming on the 33rd, or sorry, the big one's the 34th. And so I would start trying to think to get in some of these players. I think Baragi is a player that you want to be bringing in with the attack returns, and they have a good double game week. So I'm thinking Baragi. And an Inter player, I've really been enjoying Bastoni. I definitely would want an Inter defender for these games. They're facing Bologna and they're facing Roma. So harder against Roma, but they just got a clean sheet against Juventus. And then they should keep a clean sheet against Bologna. So I'm going to go Bastoni, Baraki, and then Beto, Silvestri, and Molina. Okay, that's my top 5 for the week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please, happy birthday to me, so subscribe, and I will see you again next time. Take care.